Hello and welcome to the Crooked River Cast. I am your host for today's show. My name is Robert, and joining me every week, I should say, is my friend Tom to help us keep track of, Ohio and all that kind of stuff. This is show 24, recorded on August 31st, 2025. Another week, another show. Let's go.
In the morning, Rob.
In the morning, Tom. How are you?
I'm doing good.
I'd ask you how your week was, but I hear it ended. It might have ended pretty nicely.
Oh, yeah. I had a concert to go to on Friday. Friday evening at the Rock Hall.
That was at the Rock Hall?
Yeah, it was outdoors.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It was outdoors. They got I think it's called the PMC or PNC stage. I forget.
Yeah.
I think it's
PNC,
I think,
that's the bank. Yeah.
Yeah. I think they sponsor it. And I went to see St. Vincent, which anybody who doesn't know who that is, go check them out. It's Annie Clark is the lead singer and guitar player, and she's pretty damn awesome.
Yeah. She is definitely a creative brain for sure.
Yeah, she's different. She comes from a different angle. Yeah.
Yeah. And some of it is so cool. You turned me on to them a little while ago. There's a few songs that I still go back to. I like it.
She's been on tour for a year and a half, so I think this is one of her last concerts this year, and it was incredible. Her last album is kind of a stripped down album, a little bit more rock based, so there's like a little bit more guitar, I guess. I mean, she's a guitar player, but her music is all over the place. I don't know what you would even call it. People call it indie, but it's a little too I think indie is usually kind of sounds indie. It's quality wise as far as recordings and stuff. Her stuff is really there's money behind it, so I don't consider it indie. Her music's almost like avant-garde sometimes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. That's a good, like, how would you describe it to somebody? And I would just say go listen to it, and because every album from what I've seen is very different a lot of the times. Exactly.
And her last album, I was going to say it's a little bit more rock based, and her show was very, it was a 5-piece, and it was really more, I don't want to call it rock and roll because it wasn't Joan Jett rock and roll, but it was definitely pared down and a little harder, a little bit edgier, I should say.
Right. I hope this doesn't come off as an insult, because it shouldn't, because it's not. But to me, when I see different phases, you go to different videos, different live performances, I get the rock version of Madonna. Like it's artsy. Like there's a lot of art to it. There's a lot of production to it a lot of the times. And Madonna was like that. I mean, the costumes and the little bit of pageantry.
She's done that a little
stuff. Maybe that was earlier stuff.
I don't know what her tours were like before. She has an Austin City Limits show from 2018 that was very, again, avant-garde and kind of more of a, there was costuming.
Yeah, and Madonna used to do a lot of that, and she was a great performer. I would think.
Madonna was incredible, but Annie Clark, or most people call her St. Vincent. She's a little bit. She just comes from a different angle. It's hard to describe.
Sure, yeah. The music is not even close to the same. I'm not saying. And she has that tone to it, like that look. It's cool. I like it. I mean, she's not afraid. She's not afraid to express herself, and that's awesome.
Yeah, the show was great.
I'm jealous.
So yeah, it was a pretty awesome show.
I should have went, but
that would be a good one. That would be a good one. Next, like if she comes around again, I was surprised she even came to Cleveland, because she's so, the one thing is she's got a pretty large support group of the LGBT community, so you get to witness a lot of that.
Oh,
so I was kind of surprised to see her even come to Cleveland. I thought maybe she was doing just because it's at the Rock Hall, because she won 3 Grammys this year, and I think she inducted somebody into the Rock Hall, or is about to. I forget.
Okay. Yeah.
But she does like little docu-series type of things about rock and roll and the history of music. So I was wondering if she kind of did this because of the Rock Hall. Anyways, if she's coming here again...
Good for the hall. It's good for the hall.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, if she's coming here again, I would go see her again, and I would like to see her at a place where I don't know, where there's seating, I guess.
Oh, I gotcha.
You know, I worked all day, and then I stood for another freaking.
Yeah, you stood all day at work, and then you stood all day at the. Yeah. Yeah,
it was a long night. I was pretty tired. There was an opening band called Gustav, which is a female lead singer. It was a strange. I took a listen to them before we went to the show, and I didn't like it. I don't even. They're kind of like punk, 80s, punky. I don't even know what you would call that one either. And I would say I still didn't really like it. It wasn't my thing, but you know, they were good as far as like musicianship and stuff. They were pretty darn good.
Yeah, I don't know if there's been many opening bands that I've liked, unless I went to see the opening band. There's been a couple of those shows. Went to go see an opening band, but most opening bands, you're like, yeah, you know, they're opening.
Yeah, it was a good opportunity for them. I thought that they were unique. I could see why. I could see why somebody would like them. It wasn't my thing.
I think one of the few opening bands that I ended up liking, actually, we talked about them last week, Alice in Chains.
Oh, yeah.
I saw them before I knew who they were. They opened up for Van Halen during the Foreign Lawful Car and Lounge tour. They were at Blossom. And we were there. We had seats under the pavilion. We sat and listened to most of their set. I didn't think it was bad. I just like Alice in Chains. That's a odd name for a band. And then I remember making fun of him because Lane Staley tripped as he went off stage after the final song. But I mean, you know, you can do.
I will age myself right now.
I just did too.
Yeah, I guess we did. My favorite opening band that I ever saw was Metallica.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you did. You just outdid me. Thank you.
Yeah. I saw them open for Ozzy at Richfield Coliseum.
Oh, my gosh. What a show.
Ultimate Sin Tour. I think that was 87 they came around.
So I wonder what album they were on, Metallica.
That had to be Ride the Lightning or Kill 'Em All. I think it was Ride the Lightning. I don't know even because I didn't know who they were.
One of my top albums is probably Ride the Lightning.
Yeah, I mean they were
top 25 probably metal albums.
Easy. It was they had this tiny part of the stage set up for them.
Yep.
And it was just purple and white lights on them, and it was cool. It was sorry. Oops. Anyways, I was probably I think I was 15 when that came around. Yeah, or 15 or just turned 16. I wasn't able to drive yet. I went with older friends from high school. Yeah.
Well, we can. I'll just stop because I could keep going on the reasons I was at a lot of concerts. When I was younger. Thanks to my brother for buying everybody's tickets and half of them decided not to show. Anyway, I do have one. I do have to do a listener request. We had a listener request something from me. It complimented me, I guess. So I figured I'd help him out with a little. Excuse me. Yeah, I know it's unprofessional, but you'll see why. Welcome to 1099 The Frog. We can get smooth jazz and traffic and weather on the 8s. There you go. That's for you.
The dulcet tones of Rob.
Smooth jazz and traffic and weather on the 8s. Why are they on the 8s? We don't know. Sounded good. Anyway, a little comic relief before we get into our first story here. And get comfortable, people, because we may be here for a minute or two. We're going to do a slightly deeper dive than we normally do, I think, on this one, just because it's gotten so much attention. And as I started digging into it over the last week, there's some good stuff here. So what are we talking about? We're talking about crime stats. We're talking about Trump suggesting more cities get National Guard. We talked about DeWine getting heat because he was asked and supplied couple hundred MPs from the Ohio National Guard. Got some heat for it. And let's start with, I guess, a backgrounder here from News Channel 5. I think this is about a week or so ago. I think this is a week after. Oh, I should also say, again, we talked about a couple weeks ago, J.D. Vance making comments after that brawl in Cincinnati, and everybody going, what crime? Look at the crime stats. They're great. And so here we are. Let's do a little backgrounder so everybody can catch up. This is News Channel 5.
Is News 5 at 6. It started with the vice president.
How many of you all have wanted to go to downtown Akron or downtown Canton or downtown Columbus for a meal, but you're worried?
1 week ago.
The local authorities in these big cities have allowed lawlessness to run wild.
Northeast Ohioans fired back.
People from out of town that don't know what Canton's all about.
The whole city of Akron have changed. It's not the same. And if you think it's the same, you haven't been in Akron. You haven't lived in Akron.
You're going to go anywhere and find somewhere that's a little sketchy to be.
Now another politician is sounding off about safety in Ohio cities. Now, despite the political back and forth, studies show violent crime is actually down across the country in the first half of 2025. The Council on Criminal Justice reports that in 11 of 13 categories, the rate of violent offenses was lower than it was in the first half of last year. News 5's John Kosick found people on both sides of the aisle now taking credit for that.
When it comes to crime, the year 2025 is off to a good start in cities across the country. The Council of Criminal Justice found homicides in the 30-city study down 17% compared to last year. Aggravated assaults down 10%, gun assaults 21%, robberies down 20%. As for Cleveland, no exception.
Same here. So all of our Part 1, which are our high violent felonies, are all down.
Yeah.
They've been down all year. We find that, our actions are working. Our homicide solve rates are, at 70% right now.
Do you attribute that to anything?
I can't answer 100%. I'm grateful for it.
While she won't say, the Department of Homeland Security will, attributing the decline in a post on X to the policies of the Trump administration, specifically the rapid arrests and deportations of criminal illegal aliens. Cleveland Mayor Justin Bibb taking issue with that. The Post prompting Bibb to write an op-ed for MSNBC stating it's egregiously misleading and brazenly hypocritical of the White House to try to take credit, adding the truth is that it's all happening in spite of Donald Trump, not because of him.
He said despite President Trump's policies. Which policies was he talking about? Was he talking about the lower taxes, the child tax credit? When politicians make stupid comments like that, I don't normally pay a lot of attention to it.
He said
wait, just real quick. I know I made fun of Amy for it, but sometimes Marino, that's Marino, I believe. Sometimes he sounds a little drunk too. Just want to bring that. I just want to be, fair.
I think most of them are drunk.
I think he just has a little, but sometimes like Amy does, I think, but it's like, sometimes I wonder. Right, continuing.
Instead of taking shots at the Trump administration, Bibb should focus his efforts on making Cleveland better.
And if the mayor wants to play politics, he can play politics. But the reality is Cleveland's got lots of problems.
And working to fix those problems, Bibb says, isn't political.
I spoke with Senator Moreno about your op-ed last week, this morning. Yeah. And he was saying, he called it playing politics. He said you should be focusing on the city and improving it. Do you see what you said in that op-ed as political?
No, of course not.
I'm speaking truth to power. And it's important for our administration to communicate the progress that we're making and to continue to get community buy-in.
Okay, before I stop again. Now, what could the city mayor do to help crime? There's a lot of things. I would ask you, Tom, to guess what he would do in this situation, but you're never going to guess, so I'm just going to play the clip and you'll find out. It's very important. Something you'll see. He's going to do this. This is really going to help. Watch.
Something he says they're doing every day, including a safety walk planned for this very evening.
A safety walk.
All we need
is going on a walk.
Partner in the White House and in Congress to help us continue that progress.
Something very evening.
All we need is a good partner in the White House and in Congress to help us continue that progress.
Something Moreno says they have been and will continue to be.
We're going to be announcing some ideas and some strategies on how we're going to address taking back our cities.
In Cleveland, John Kosick, News 5.
All right, let that play. So why does the city of Cleveland need a good partner in the White House and Congress to fix crime in their little teeny city? That was the first question. Second, a safety walk. Woohoo! I was going to cut that clip up a couple of times, but I had to leave that safety walk in. That was just too good. He's going on a walk, guys. He's going on a walk.
Safety walk.
So again, we had Vance come in and make these comments, and we've had news reports over and over again stating how crime is down. What is going to happen? What are these people going to do in DC? So part of this article that we have from Fox 8, they have a clip in there from the AP. It's an AP clip. It's actually not even a Fox 8 story. It's an AP story. And here's part of the clip, because this was just over a minute long clip. After I took out all the pauses and the breaks, it went down to 42 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah. So he's very confused on what's going on. So we'll just see what he has to say.
Interestingly, despite national data that shows violent crimes declining, there is a difference in public opinion. A majority of Americans polled have said recently that they believe that crime is a major problem in big cities. So there's a perception that runs counter to some of the statistics.
Yep.
While the president has talked about an unacceptable rash of violent crime, it's interesting that experts say that more than 90% of police calls have nothing to do with violent crime. It's really unclear what the Guard members would do in these big cities.
What are they going to do in these big cities? I mean, Trump is suggesting that more cities could need National Guard, and he's not sure what they would be doing there. Well, here, I mean, just at a random stab at the news on X, maybe something they could help out with this.
A downtown Cleveland restaurant worker was assaulted. The perpetrator caught on camera, but at last check still hasn't been caught. Here's News 5's Kaylee Olivas with more details.
In an alleyway off 9th Street, right next to Sausalito's, a man brutally attacked a woman right here, leaving her with several injuries, walking away as if nothing had happened.
Truthfully, I never gave it a second thought, like coming out here and being out here by myself or walking employees to their car. But yeah, most definitely now it's very rattling.
Charlotte Siegel is a manager at Sausalito on 9th. Next to the restaurant is this cut through. It's kind of secluded, but there is a parking lot around the corner and a camera that captures every move. On Wednesday afternoon, an employee of Sausalito was out pressure washing some catering equipment.
She had her back turned.
Well, a man was walking by. Surveillance shows he looks behind him, sees no one else is around, puts his belongings down,
and then skipped over the alley. He jumped her and attacked her and brutally beat her.
The assault, not even 30 seconds long, but a part of the victim's left arm is fractured. She also suffered head trauma, as well as cuts and bruising all over her body.
She survived, and that's the one thing that we just keep reminding her is, you survived this, and to kind of hold on to that. Still very traumatized by it.
Now, the mystery is, where's the guy who did this, and who is he? Video shows once the beating ended, he collected his things, smashed a wine bottle, and went on about his day. We've asked Cleveland police for information on the suspect's whereabouts, but no one was available on Thursday to give comment. The agency is working on it, though.
The only update that we received was yesterday. They said that they did track him to an RTA bus. The officer said he used some form of a card. He's saying because he used that card and the camera's on the bus, they think that that's like a strong lead. But obviously.
Okay. So thinking if they had a few more police officers, maybe somebody could have returned comment to the news organization that was asking. I just thought maybe that's one thing they can do. Can you think of any others? Anybody? Leaving room for Tom.
There's something I was going to bring up later in this story here.
I can
Not
keep
this
going
story, but this thing. But Cleveland in 2019 had over 1,600 officers, and we're down to like 1,100 and something. It's still under 1,200. 1,137 officers, and some of them are actually working. They're approved to work a second job, meaning they're cops somewhere else.
Like we talked about last week, the crime is so good in Cleveland. They asked the Cuyahoga County, which we'll touch on later, to help. That's how good the crime stats are in Cleveland.
Yeah, no, it's awful.
But something's going on.
Well, okay, crime hasn't gone down. It's just not being reported, and it's being reported differently than it was 5-6 years ago.
I think you are correct, but I also think there's something else going on. They did touch on it a bit, which was the removal, or at least ice showing up in these big cities some of the times and cracking down. That could be part of it. Because, so here, I pulled Akron stats. I pulled an article from a couple of years ago, and I wanted to, some of these numbers are, go ahead. Ridiculous.
Well, yeah, that could have something to do with it, but I think crime has been going down. There was a spike in crime in 2020 or 2021, early, during the pandemic. It's gone down since then.
Yeah, leading up to COVID, I think FBI would say it was on a downward trend,
right,
for many decades,
right,
until COVID.
And then there was it's been a downward trend since the 90s, which probably since the internet really,
could be,
but anyways, it's been on a downward trend, slowly trending downwards, and then 2020, and you could blame it on the lockdowns, basically.
So let's talk about year over year, though. Let's not talk about 2020. Let's look at Akron stats from last year to this year, first half of last year to first half of this year. Because in my mind, if you drop crime, if you drop robberies by 2 or 3%, that seems like it would be a good drop, a good significant drop. 5%, 6, 7, 8, 9%, 18% down.
Okay, what do you? I think that's how it's reported.
I'm getting there. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. No, you're fine. I'm just saying we're laying it out. So I got clips, Tom.
Okay.
So I just wanted to hit some of these because to me, to your point, I'm not saying that I think it adds a lot to do with it, and that's had a lot to do with it over the last 20 years. But year over year, what I mean by the last 20 years, reporting discrepancies in the way they report. But for Akron, year over year, first half of 24, the first half of 25, 18% robberies down, felony assault 16%, overdose deaths down 46%, breaking and enterings down from 281 to 245. For some reason they give me a percentage. Auto thefts down 28%, shooting victims down from 92 adult victims to 46. That's like half, literally half. I think it's like 40% low. Calls for service.
Yeah, I would love to know this.
Well, it's maybe not much as you thought. So down from first half of 2023 in Akron, 2024 in Akron, there was 69,000. In the first half of 2025, there was 66,000. So that's 3,000.
What's the percentage?
5%. That's like 5%, isn't it? No, 6, 7. 10% would be that's like 5, 6, 7%.
Okay, but
that's significant. Like you're saying,
it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Murders remained about the same, which is 12. About the same. It's either the same or not the same. So there's that. But they're saying it's 12.
Okay.
I call BS because that seems like a lot to come down year over year.
Oh, for sure.
If this is the case, wonderful. But is that really the case? So let's go to the next clip, which is one I pulled up from new NBC4 out of Washington, D.C. This clip, I think, is from 2-3 weeks ago. Oh, yeah, I think it was second week in August. And they're they're talking about a report that they did back in May. And let's see, maybe, let me go to my clip setup notes here because there's probably something else I wanted to say. Yeah. Maybe we in this clip, we can find out where maybe some of this National Guard in D.C. is coming from in the Trump administration. So let's listen to what they had to say.
These allegations of manipulating crime statistics has been around for quite some time now. It was back on May 22nd that the D.C. Police Union actually put out a press release and made that allegation. Then News 4 began to look into it.
Police Union.
And we broadcast and published our own story back on July 18th. And now we've learned the Justice Department has launched its own investigation. Last month, News 4 first reported that MPD Commander Michael Pulliam had been placed on paid administrative leave, accused of manipulating crime data in the 3rd District. Pulliam denies the allegations. In that same report, the chairman of the D.C. Police Union, Greg Pemberton, said the manipulation of crime data was common in the department and done to make it appear violent crime was lower than it actually is.
Right, hold on a second. So I think I said last week I caught wind of this in a couple articles. They'll creatively lower the crime on scene, and a lot of these cops are told to do it. This is what they're going to touch on.
On scene?
On scene. Here,
okay.
listen.
When our members respond to the scene of a felony offense where there is a victim reporting that a felony occurred, inevitably there will be a lieutenant or a captain that will show up on that scene and direct those members to take a report for a lesser offense. So instead of taking a report for a shooting or a stabbing or a carjacking, they will order that officer to take a report for a theft or an injured person to the hospital or a felony assault, which is not the same type of classification.
Pemberton.
No, this Pemberton is the union head of the police union. His members are coming to him and telling him this. And his members are telling other members to do it because the lieutenants are showing up. They're part of the union too. Okay, let's continue.
Said when the classifications are changed, they are not reflected in the violent crime statistics.
Oh, convenient.
At the time of our initial report, D.C. crime data shows violent crime was down 26% when compared to the same time last year, and overall crime was down 8%. Our report caught the attention of President Trump, who mentioned it at his news conference a week ago Monday, and last night posted to Truth Social that the D.C. Police Department was under serious investigation. But in an interview last week with News 4's Mark Seagraves, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser said the D.C. Police Internal Affairs investigation into changing crime stats was only focused on Commander Pulliam.
I think that, what Paul's reporting revealed is that the chief of police had concerns about one commander, investigated all 7 districts, and verified that the concern was with one person. So we are completing that investigation.
The mayor's office today declined to comment on the new federal investigation being conducted by the U.S. Attorney's Office.
Not so chatty now, are you? Not so chatty now. And let's just finish this News Channel 4 off. I got one more clip. This is so. What did the police chief have to say? That was the mayor that had no comment. Here's what they asked. They asked for comments from all these people, and here's what they got.
And Paul, we know that you mentioned about Chief Smith. She did not want to go on camera, but you did speak to her at length and give you a statement. What did she tell you?
Yeah, back on July 18th, the chief came to the television station. I sat down and I interviewed her for about an hour. It was on the record, but she didn't want to go on camera. And afterwards, she instead decided to give us a statement. I'm quoting now from this statement that she gave us at the time. She says, "I do not condone any official reclassifying criminal offenses outside the guidelines set in MPD policy. Any allegation of this behavior will be dealt with through an internal process." So that's what she said at the time. It's curious to know how she's responding to this information now today. We're still working on that.
Yeah, let me clue you in. She's trying to cover her butt right about now.
Oh, yeah.
And then that led me to a New York Post story. Headline, this is August 13th. Headline, Democrats are hiding the rise in violent crime with tricky statistics. Tricky statistics. So it's a pretty in-depth article, and they go through some of the claims, from the campaign, saying that crime went up under Trump. This New York Post article says, but the opposite is true. Between 2016 and 2020, violent crime fell by 17% under Trump and soared by 43% under Biden between 2020 and 2022. So, of course, news outlets are routinely asserting, the article says, that Americans are mistaken in believing that violent crime is rising. Don't believe what your eyes, believe what we tell you. Believe what we tell you. So typical Axios headline they're saying is, new data shows violent crime dropped sharply in major U.S. cities. Right? NPR, same thing, violent crime dropping. So then they bring up, there are two measures of crime. One is the FBI's NIBRS, which counts the number of crimes reported to police yearly. And then there's another one that's mostly used is the Bureau of Justice Statistics National Crime Victimization Survey. Whew, that's a mouthful. They generally ask about 240,000 people each year whether they have been victims of a crime in an attempt to measure both reported and unreported crimes. And what they found is since 2020, these two measurements have been highly
they're opposite.
Opposite, yeah. Right, negatively correlated. The FBI has been finding fewer instances of crime, but people have simultaneously answering in greater numbers that they have been victims.
Why is that?
Well, according to the article, we just heard what's going on in D.C., but more to your point, I think this article goes to, and they're saying that there is a drop in reporting. So they're saying, but yearly, I just got lost in the article. Oh, here we go. So they say we know crime victims report only about 40% of the violent crimes and about 30% of property crimes to police. Okay. But every year from 2020 onward, these figures have moved in opposite directions. For instance, 2020, the FBI reported a 2.1 drop in violent crime, but the NCVS showed an alarming increase of 42.4%, largely the largest one-year percentage increase in violent crime ever reported by that measure. Okay, so we got all that down. I just want to make sure I get everything. Okay. So
arrest rates plunged.
Yes. So FBI data shows arrest rates plunged for reported crimes in such cities, plunged by more than half, 44% in the 5 years before COVID pandemic, and just 20% by 2022, the largest drop ever. All right. So why are they thinking there's a drop here? And that's what I'm trying to get to. And what they're saying is because of defunding of the police, they've lost effective officers to retirements since the pandemic, and demoralized because of the protests and the defund the police movement. And fewer than it says compounding the problem is that fewer than half of all police departments are providing complete crime data to the FBI since the reporting system changed in 2021. I mean, if you just don't report it, it will go down.
Well, there's other reasons too. They don't report it. I believe it's the prosecutors or the district attorney. You know, if they're not going to go after these people, or if they're just going to let them go anyways, they don't even bother arresting them.
People lose confidence in the police and they just stop calling. Example could be Akron with 3,000 less reports year over year. Could be just crimes down. Could be people just get sick of calling about the guy running around your neighborhood trying to stab people, and then the cops take him away, and then 2 days later he's back again.
Mm-hmm.
So why do I call the cops? Right. That's kind of
there's a lot of that.
There's a lot.
You got cashless. Confidence. You have cashless bails now, and prosecutors that aren't going after people. You have also many cities. Cleveland's not one of them. I don't believe so. No, I'm certain it's not. But there are a lot of cities that, if you rob a store and it's under $700 or under $900, they don't even bother coming out.
Yes, I totally forgot about that. Yes,
yeah,
major major cities like LA, Chicago, for example, if you steal you can steal up to $700 or $900, and cops they won't arrest you. They've literally set policy that way and announced it. Yeah, and you've seen in a lot of these cities, like places like CVS, are just pulling out because groups of 20, 30 people will rush the store and just fill up bags of stuff off the shelf.
Yeah, I think it was San Francisco. It was $700, and then they raised it to, I think, just under $1,000. The parts of San Francisco are it's a ghost town there. That was a great city at one point.
Yeah,
so
I think this is where go ahead.
Oh, yeah, businesses have moved out. I mean, all you see is boarded up CVS's or Walgreens, whatever they have out there.
Yeah, that happens once a month. You can't make any money. You have a store for the next week that has nothing in it because it's basically been cleaned out. And then, like, how does that store stay profitable? Well, that happens one time, and the store's losing money.
And who wants to go shop there? Because once they figure out they got to put everything behind glass, I get PO'd when there's a few things behind glass at my local CVS. It's like I don't want to go shopping there, so people find other ways to shop for the same stuff.
Yeah, like I have to like show my ID just to get some sinus medicine because
exactly
somebody's going to crush them and pretend like they're Breaking Bad or something.
Right.
Heisenberg's. Yes. All right. So here's the one I was looking for. So in 2022, in cities with more than 500,000 people, only 8% of violent crimes reported and underreported, and only 1% of property crimes resulted in arrest.
That's why nobody's reporting.
Right. So you could see maybe as we listen to this crime stat story from the News Channel 4 out of D.C., it was picked up by the Trump administration. We talked about one of the Trump cabinet or the Doge members of Doge, or whatever, who was trying to intervene in a mugging in D.C., who got put in the hospital or whatever. He got himself beat, and we can't go without saying his nickname, which is Big Balls. So he apparently does have big balls because as a woman is getting beat up by a couple of guys, I think it was most likely, he intervened and got himself beat up too. Yeah, then you have this story come out. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say Big Balls is a hero, actually.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he saved the woman possibly from getting more severely injured or worse. Okay, so maybe we can see why Trump wanted to intervene in D.C. because we see the story about them flubbing the stats. Oh, we've got one guy doing it. How many other people are doing? Oh, we've already checked. We checked. We're good. Nothing here to see. Everybody go home. Yeah. Okay. So the cops checking cops. How about we have an independent check on it, please?
Yeah.
Then we have all this other stuff we just talked about. But also we have getting rid of illegal alien criminals. That could help too.
That's helping too. Yeah. So
everybody wants to take
it's credit. Compounding things,
Yeah. But I think those huge numbers, like out of Akron, there's more than just Trump deporting people. There's something else going on there. I guess my point to these cities like Akron and Cleveland and Columbus, whoever, show me what you've done to change. Where's the pivot point to justify these stats? Like, have you implemented something? And we're going to get into the downtown safety patrol in Cleveland later.
They also, I was going to say that they also, one of the ways they do this, and we touched on it, but they changed the definition of crimes.
Right. That's kind of what they was saying in the clip. Like the lieutenant will come in and say, this more looks like just an injury to the hospital.
Yeah, no, but they legitimately do it.
That too, yes.
As far as officially changed the definition of crimes.
Yeah, good point.
And they've changed the definition of, and I pay attention to the, Second Amendment, and they've changed crimes, the mass shooting crimes. They've changed the definition of that. They've changed the definition of children. They've, there's a number of things where they changed the definition. All of a sudden, in 1 year, shootings have become the biggest danger to children. And it was just because they raised the children from 17 to 21, and who's, there's a bunch of between 17 and 21 year olds that we considered adults that are dying from gunshot wounds, and that's gang related.
Are you saying this is not the only place they manipulate the stat? Are you?
Oh no,
really?
No, not even close. They do it everywhere, Rob.
Everywhere, and we'll talk about it later. But one of the things for school shootings, here's an example of a school shooting. Cops chase two guys around whatever city. They end up in a school parking lot.
Yeah,
the cops get out and they shoot at each other. That is reported as a school shooting. It could be at midnight. It's reported. It's on school property, a school property. It is reported as a school shooting.
Even the if an officer is in the school, and this happened a couple of years ago. I might be going back to 2016 or 17, but an officer was at a school doing a demonstration, and being a retard, he discharged his weapon on accident, and that was considered a school shooting.
Yeah.
So
you can make stats.
Yeah,
really,
you can change things around and make it look like however you want to make it look.
Not to say you can't look at stats. They are one look at the situation. They are one view of the situation. It is one piece of the puzzle, but not the whole puzzle. Okay,
right.
That's the way I look at it. So you can maybe see why Trump would want to intervene in DC, like I said. And then we can see as we look through like this, they're talking about New York and Chicago, the way they underreport, change the crime, all this other stuff. It's happening in DC, it's happening elsewhere. So maybe we can see why Trump would suggest that this could work in other cities. So he does that, and all hell breaks loose.
I actually think he's doing that. I don't think he's going to do anything.
Oh, yeah,
maybe.
I know. Yeah, I have my thoughts.
I know why he's doing it.
Yes, we'll get to that at the end. I got a couple more clips, and I think we're on the same page. But I have my theory of his strategy. All right, but before, I guess I should stop this because I planned for this comic relief because I figured I was going to get in all these clips, and you know me, Tom, I get all excited. So I planned a comment. So before I go any further, I got a couple more clips left. Let's just calm down and have a little laugh here. Here's a little blast from the past, people. If all of those who love salads because they're healthy, here you go.
Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real Men of Genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Giant Taco Salad Inventor.
Mr. Giant Taco Salad Inventor.
A culinary creation that baffles the human mind. A 12,000-calorie salad. Ground beef, refried beans, guacamole, cheese, sour cream, and if there's any room left, a few shreds of lettuce.
I don't see no lettuce.
Some may ask, is your taco salad healthy? Of course it is. It's a salad, isn't it?
You can eat that deep-fried country bowl.
So crack open a nice cold Bud Light, conquistador of the calorie. You put the feast in Fiesta.
Mr. Giant Taco Salad Inventor.
Bud Light beer, Anheuser-Busch, Fort Collins, Colorado.
I was eating a salad the other day, and I'm like, this reminds me, because this is not healthy. That was one of my top favorite of those commercials is that one because it's so true. Is that healthy? It's a salad, isn't it? 12,000 calorie salad. It was a Caesar salad, people. It wasn't a taco salad, but it just, by the time I put the cheese and the croutons and the Parmesan crisps and more cheese and the dressing, I'm like, yeah, I'll eat a burger.
Hell, and there's some dressings that if you just put the dressing on the salad, it's
Caesar dressing.
Caesar, like a good, any dressing is terrible nowadays because it's all seed oils. But
true, yeah, I was gonna say the Italian is not bad, but not if you're using.
I mean, your best thing to do is just some balsamic vinaigrette and some olive oil.
Tom, I want a 12,000 calorie salad.
It gets you through the week.
No. commercial's better because at one point in the commercial, in the video part of the commercial, he's on the exercise bike in front of the TV eating his salad. Okay, so on to more doom. I'm just kidding. This is we'll continue on. Like I said, maybe we've seen why Trump wants to suggest to spread this to other cities. Maybe we really see why he wants to do this, at least do this in DC, because look what they're doing with the stats. Possibly, so he's seen this. He's seen big balls getting his butt kicked, and trying to save a woman, and maybe this is some of his motivation. So then he goes, we could put this in some more blue cities like Chicago. Oh my gosh, they just lost their loving mind.
Well, that's why he did it.
Yes, that's why he did it.
It is an 80-20 issue. I don't think most people want federal involvement in their city, but crime is an 80-20 issue. So when you make Democrats look like they're supporting crime, you're winning. That's just what's happening.
I have two clips from one of my favorite YouTubers, which is Liberal Hive Mind.
Okay,
you ever check them out?
I've heard some stuff from them. Yeah.
So I catch them on occasion. Some of the stuff's redundant for me, but this one was pretty good. It had some clips in it. I figured I'd pull it. And one of the stats he shows, like you were saying, the 80-20 issue, is he's pulling up. This is Associated Press Center for Public Affairs Research is the source of this poll, and the percentage of who says crime is a quote-unquote major problem in large cities. Okay, start with Republicans because this is not shocking. 96% of Republicans say it's a major problem. Okay, Independents. Okay, 72% of independents say it's a major problem. Okay, what Democrat could you take a guess of what this poll would say? If those two numbers, where would Democrats be?
Well, they're going to be the low. You know what? I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know because if you're going into the inner cities. Who are they just, where are they doing this?
It's a result based on interviews with 1,182 U.S. adults conducted between blah, 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 a margin of error. It's a loose poll. Margin of error is 3.8%.
Yeah, but I guess I'm just wondering
where,
who the demographic that they're asking.
But imagine it's random. It should be.
Yeah, it should be. But okay, so it's random. I'm going to say Democrats are still going to be over 60%.
Damn, you're good, Tom. Democrats in this poll say 68%. 68% of Democrats say it's a major problem. As an aggregate, U.S. adults are at, can you guess, Tom? Can you guess? 81%.
Yeah, that's 80-20 issue, man.
Let's see. So there's a Liberal Hive Mind. He has a little bit of his own commentary, but he's also got some clips from a couple people, and we'll see what he has to say. I got two clips here. It's pretty good stuff. Here you go.
Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Well, once again, we've come full circle with another one of these ridiculous, totally dishonest left-wing narratives. After weeks of hysteria, after weeks of being told that Donald Trump's crackdown in Washington, D.C. was racist, fascist, it was a plot to put black people into labor camps.
What? We believe that the National Guard and the military occupation is the first step into rounding black people up and putting them in detainment camps here in Washington, D.C. and around the United States of America.
It was obvious that this was going to be a losing issue for the Democrats. I mean, did they really think that this was going to fly?
The military is not supposed to be used for ordinary law enforcement purposes. In D.C., he was talking about cleaning up the graffiti and, dealing with the blight of homelessness, which are obviously local, not federal issues.
Yeah. How could you?
And he's trying to militarize our society, intimidate his political opponents. The whole idea of picking cities based on their partisan leadership is absurd.
Wait, intimidate or embarrass? Political opponents or policy opponents? Is it because they're Democrats, or is it because of the policies they've enacted? Is he trying to intimidate, or is he just trying to embarrass them? That's interesting.
I mean, there are lots of Republican cities and towns struggling with crime. Everybody is across the country. Always, crime has always been part of our history.
Part of our culture.
And yet crime is down. In D.C., for example, it's at a 30-year low.
Oh, well, you know, crime is just a part of American life. What can you do? Obviously, that wasn't going to fly. Nobody was buying their alternative solution. Big brain mayor from Chicago, Brandon Johnson, hitting us with a real radical, brand new idea, definitely not tried before.
Do you believe that the streets of Chicago would be safer if there were more uniformed police officers on the streets of Chicago?
I believe the city of Chicago and cities across America would be safer if we actually had, you know, affordable housing. Look,
okay,
I'm not saying that
that's not the question I asked. My question is, and I just need a yes or a no, do you believe the streets of Chicago would be safer?
Actual journalism.
If you got all of those other extraordinary programs put back into place, which do have a history of being successful, if that's complemented by having 5,000 more cops on the streets of Chicago.
I don't believe that we should narrow it down to just police officers, Joe, is what I'm saying. That is an antiquated approach. I'm saying we've invested in detectives.
Mr. Mayor, are you hearing what I'm saying? I'm agreeing with you.
Increased law enforcement activity doesn't affect crime. We just need more affordable housing. What a complete moron. Every time with these Democrat Marxists, they hit us with the most typical been there, done that, failed Marxist solution to a big societal problem, as if it hasn't been tried before.
Okay. So let's come all the way around. Yeah, I got clip 2 from Liberal Hive Mind. Where are we at now? Well, he's got a little clip here from the D.C. mayor. Might be kind of interesting. Let's see what she has to say.
All right, folks. So again, after all the rhetoric, take a look at what D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser just said.
We greatly appreciate the surge of officers that enhance what MPD has been able to do in this city. The most significant thing that we are highlighting today is the area of crime that was most troubling for us in 2023. Now, we have driven it down over the last years, but for carjackings, the difference between this period, this 20-day period of this federal surge and last year represents a 87% reduction in carjackings in Washington, D.C. We know that when carjackings go down, when the use of gun goes down, when homicide or robbery go down, neighborhoods feel safer and are safer. So this surge has been important to us for that reason.
Isn't that funny? So now it's effective. Now he's keeping the city safe. Well, isn't it obvious what happened? They started to catch on to the fact that once again, they took an 80-20 issue, them, of course, taking the 20 side. And slowly but surely, probably the focus groups started to come in. They probably started to see data like this showing, surprise, surprise, most people think that crime in big cities is a problem. Who would have thought?
How about
as if
Chicago?
you need freaking focus groups to tell you that. And of course, they probably saw moments like these where CNN conducts a street interview and, well, let's just say it didn't go as they expected.
My first reaction was that this is a good thing. I think that the governor as well as the mayor should be on board with it just so we can get a bit more of security in Chicago the way that we need.
The crime has dropped since 2024. Do you feel like the city feels safer?
No, not at all. No, especially with the police being defunded.
Oh, that didn't go like you thought it did you, CNN? Like, I don't think the question was even done. She's like, no.
I'm surprised she didn't turn around and say, you don't feel safer, but the stats are saying so.
Yeah, why not? So here we go.
I have seen interviews like that before where they're asking the resident of the neighborhood if they feel safer, and they say no, and then they argue with them.
Yes. The elitist from some other area of the state or country saying, no. See what the stats say? Yeah, but I live here.
The CNN talking head that lives in a gated community.
Right. It's like the guy from CNN earlier, the first clip, where he's like, well, it's just part of our culture. I mean, we've always dealt with crime. Yeah, he's an elitist in a gated community who thinks, well, it's just a little crime. It's not like gunshots every night in the city of Cleveland and Akron and Columbus and all around. It's not just those cities, but you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, when you're not feeling it, you don't think it's a big problem. So what's Trump doing? Can Trump send the National Guard to U.S. cities without them asking for it?
I think if he calls it an emergency.
If he calls it a national emergency, possibly, yes. I think it will be challenged. I think.
Yeah, of course. I mean, there's going to be some district judge that tries to block it. Probably appointed by Obama.
Good point. Yes. I think the only real way he can do it easily or without any pushback is if the city says, "Please, yes, come bring it in."
Oh, of course. Yeah.
So I don't think he actually wants. I mean, I think maybe he wants to or thinks it would work. I don't think he's actually going to do it because I think it's just unlike he can technically. I mean, he had to do the national emergency thing and all that stuff, but I'd have a problem with the national emergency thing just to do this.
I don't know. There was 23 murders in Chicago last week. They have that about every week.
Yes.
I would think that, I don't know, is it a national emergency? I don't know. I don't think so, but yeah, there could be an argument for it.
Yeah, I guess you can make an argument for it. I think you're reaching a little bit there at this point. I think it's more likely. So here's what Trump does. He can do DC because of the special circumstance in Washington DC. It's not a state, just a district. Blah blah.
Right.
But he can only do it for 30 days. I think maybe he can extend it. This and that.
Oh, I think they've already extended it. I forget how that goes, but it was 30 days, but then they have to go through a different process of extending it.
And after the mayor's comments we just heard saying, pretty much, thank you, this is working.
Right.
So he can do that. They can extend. So I think here's what I see. Trump is doing this in D.C. Crime is dropping. Everybody's screaming. He floats out, well, we can do this in like Chicago and L.A. and stuff like that. Everybody flips out. All the leaders of those cities say absolutely not, while the citizens are watching the news where everybody's talking about crime stats dropping by 70, 60, 80, 90% in DC. And as you heard the person on the street from Chicago said, no, I think it's actually a good idea. I think it's a good idea. So you now have a 80-20 issue that your leaders in your city are saying, we don't want to take care of crime this way. We're doing it good ourselves. Look at the crime stats. And then everybody who lives in the city is looking around and going, yeah, I see the crime stats every day. They're in my face every day. What the heck are you guys talking about? And you start creating a divide, in my opinion.
Well, it's you're going to get the people saying, "Oh, he's playing 5D chess," but no, he's just playing TDS.
He's playing chess.
He's just playing chess, and he's playing to the TDS factor, meaning he could do whatever, and they're going to argue the opposite.
So next year, when the midterms are in full effect, midterm elections are in full effect, the Republican Party can now put out a whole bunch of commercials with crime in one, and pictures of people doing crimes with liberal Democrats saying, no, crime's good. And we don't want any help. We don't need Trump's help.
Right.
We don't need Trump's help. I think he's playing, this is politics. He's making them look stupid. And one of my new favorite memes that I like to drop on the TDS out there in social media is, Trump's I think the first president in almost 100 years not to have a dog. You know why?
Why?
Because he's made the Democratic Party his bitch. That's why. And that's example of this right here. He set them out. He set the bait and they took it every time they take it. 80-20 issue. And it looks stupid. So there's that. So that's what's going on. That's why we're having all these crime. What crime? Maybe it's not as what they seem, as what they're telling you. I think we're being lied to. I think there's a big part of these stats that we're just being lied to about. Again, what have they done differently in these cities?
I don't even get it anymore. Like, what is the Democratic Party even doing at this point?
Well, I mean, I don't. They're doing more of the same. They keep. I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's astonishing. Just strategically, it seems. So it's like they're shooting themselves in the foot constantly, and cheering about it as they do it.
Yeah. And
honestly, it troubles me. And I'm not a fan of the Democratic Party. I'm not really a big fan of the Republican Party either. But there needs to be at least two parties. And I don't know when's the last time we had two parties that are actually have anything that don't just play together like these two do. I think the country is healthier with two or three healthy political parties. More ideas are better, and the Democrats are just gone. They're gone. They don't have any ideas. They have no good. All their ideas are just, in my opinion, insane. And Republicans have plenty of crappy ideas too. I hate to just keep picking on the Democrats, but my gosh,
they make it easy.
Yeah,
easier.
That's why I say I look at it and go, are they doing this on purpose? Like, what's the strategy here? It doesn't make any sense at all. It's just they're got blinders on and they're just, I don't know.
They're pushing forward. I think they are. I think there is a faction of the Democratic Party that's trying to pull back the insaneness. But
yeah, that'd be like Rokan. Kind of sounded like that for a little bit. Rokana, is that what it is?
I think it's Rokana.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. There is a faction. I'm trying to think of who. I think it's more of some of the bureaucrats that are in the Democratic Party.
Yeah, the leadership, just like the Republican leadership, they're all corrupt.
Yeah, I mean, it really is a uniparty.
Yes.
I mean, it's just
at the leadership level and up in that area. As you get down there, as you get down to lower levels, maybe not so much, but the leadership is definitely, they all eat dinner together. They go golfing together. They get their own adrenochrome together. This is how it is. Once you get up there, you want to shut the door behind you so that nobody else can come up with you.
Right.
Hold on to that power as long as you can. So there's that. That's what's going on here. I think there's shenanigans, as I like to call it. And if you think we got it wrong or missed something or whatever, shoot us a note, send us an email, go to the website crookedrivercast.com, or send us a note via the email of crookedrivercast@gmail.com. Gmail or Gmail. And send us a note. Tell us what you think. Go to the website every week and get show notes, a blog post with links and pictures. And thank you. You know who you are. Those have been coming out really, really nice. We've got some help from well, I mean, I guess she's a listener, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. But those have been coming out really nice. I like those. Those are awesome. So send us a note, please. We would love to hear from our listeners. And thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for taking your time. All right, Tom. I think you've been chomping at the bit for this one a little bit, huh? DeWine in safe schools is the way I have it in the list.
Yeah, I didn't read this story, so.
Okay.
It was the.
That's okay. We got
it was the national, where was that? Minneapolis?
Minneapolis, yep.
Yeah, the school shooting in Minneapolis. I just saw evil come out.
Yes.
Yeah. Here, let me play a little clip here from before we talk about DeWine.
Yeah.
This guy, he posted this on, his name is John Hahn.
Oh.
And he's from Natick, Massachusetts. I think he's a gay dude. I'm assuming. He had a rainbow flag posted behind him.
And you know what? There's going to be a lot more of that coming up. Especially at these religious areas, hey, we've had enough of your kind coming after public schools, right? It's about time, churches and Catholic schools and religious schools, it's about time they get their turn. That's what I think. What I think. I'm just going to sit back and watch people do it. And I'm going to fucking laugh. I'm laughing about yesterday. You guys want to laugh about us? We're going to laugh about you.
That's just pure evil right there.
Did anyone laugh when they shot up the gay bar in Florida about 10 years ago?
No, I don't think so. I didn't.
You know what happened?
What?
So that happened on a Saturday evening in Florida, Pulse nightclub. So
I remember that, yeah.
So oddly enough, I believe the story is the guy had one bar in mind or something, another building in mind. I think it was another bar, but it had security or something to that effect. I could be mixing them up. Anyway, I could be mixing. I think that was a school shooting, maybe. Anyway, forget that. Anyway, so this happened on a Saturday evening, the shooting at a gay club in Florida, Pulse nightclub. That Sunday, when they were, investigating and it had, all these people here, cops and all this stuff, nobody was laughing. And here's how I know this. Chick-fil-A, the evil, God-fearing fast food place, who's closed on Sundays, opened up a couple of locations and delivered food to the Pulse nightclub, to all their first responders at the Pulse. Nobody was laughing. That's what they were doing. That's what Christians do. That's what a lot of them do. Not everyone, but that's what they do.
That was sick.
Yeah, that was horrible.
So I got one more here that's bizarre. It's a Nebraska senator. I'm going to play. I have a short version of it, but I want the long version to play out for it. It's a 3 minutes long, actually.
Okay.
But I think I just want people to hear the insaneness in this person's voice as it goes through.
Okay.
Cool?
Yeah, go.
Thank you, Mr. President. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. That's what they're saying out there. They're standing in a circle in the rotunda saying that over and over again. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people.
I'm feeling the mix coming on.
Here. We need
Where's
trans
the remix
people.
at?
We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans
watch
people.
the mic.
We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people.
Run out of
Trans
gas.
people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We
Jeez, how
love
long is
trans
this
people.
thing?
Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people
Oh, my
belong here.
goodness.
We need trans people. We love trans people.
All right.
You matter. You matter. People, we love trans.
No, don't do it again. No.
So that's like
Holy cow.
That's in our government, and the reason I'm playing that, if people don't know, you know what?
Who is it?
That was a Nebraska, Michaela Kavanaugh, a Nebraska senator. That's not happening in Ohio. It might be. I don't think so, but it's happening in our government over and over again. Not quite to that level that I've seen, but that same type of rhetoric.
Wow.
And I brought that up just because, I'm assuming that everybody knows, but if you're not paying attention, if you just heard there was a school shooting at a church, a Catholic school church, it was during Mass, and 2 kids were killed, and I think there were 15 injured.
Yep.
And the newspapers and the mainstream media did not report that it was a trans woman.
Yes.
So it was a man.
They did not. Or barely, if they
barely.
Did.
I think CNN mentioned it, but they mentioned it in a way that we should say her.
Oh, shit.
Not him.
I wish I would have grabbed that article. I was reading one article, and it's not this one that we had posted from News Channel 5. No, it's not. Towards the end of the article, they say something to the effect of the shooter's gender was unclear, although back in whatever date, the shooter did change his name to her name on their birth certificate.
Yeah.
So how is it unclear again? The dude literally had ponytails in some of the pictures I saw. And he changed his name to a woman's name. I think it's pretty clear.
Right.
I asked my wife about it. She heard about it. I go, did you hear any interesting details that might stick out? She goes, no, what? I go, it's a dude pretending to be a woman.
And they had a manifesto, which they really haven't played. Or if they did show anything from the manifesto, you have idiots. Okay, there was a picture of this guy's guns, and he had written all kinds of stuff on his guns.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them was kill President Trump.
On the magazine, I think it was.
Kill Donald Trump on the magazine, right? But the news reported it as he just wrote Donald Trump. So then there's idiots like Rosie O'Donnell saying it's a right-wing shooter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she's not getting the reports either. And Rosie O'Donnell's overseas now. She lives in Europe or something, doesn't she?
Something like that. I don't know. But what started really pissing me off was not, I expect them not to report that was a trans shooter, but at some point they have to, because the Denver shooter was trans, Aberdeen shooter was trans, the Nashville shooter was trans, the Georgia shooter was trans, Philadelphia shooter was trans, Iowa shooter gender fluid, Uvalde shooter a trans, Colorado shooter trans, Minnesota shooter trans. Okay, this needs to be reported on, at least. So
yes.
You have, I would say, of the last school shootings, of the last 5-6 school shootings, they've all been trans.
Tom, there's like 100 school shootings a day in America. You didn't know that?
Well, yeah, the way they record it now. But anyways,
no,
it's insane, and we got to start talking about that. The other thing is, back in the day, they used to talk about the SRIs that the kids were on.
Yep.
Now they don't. And they stopped.
What's an SSRI, in case people don't know?
Like Ritalin.
Yeah, it's a Prozac.
Antidepressants.
Any kind of drug
that can make you homicidal or suicidal.
Yes, and
they do have that.
And when you stop taking them, that's a problem. So this is kind of where I was going to leaning into was this again, that clip you played and these stories remind me of another one of my favorite memes I like to drop on X and elsewhere is it's the trans flag and bold letters over it is make asylums great again. Because in my opinion, we got rid of most of the insane asylums around the country in lieu of medicine. The problem with medicine is you can stop taking medicine and nobody knows until it's too late. I'm not saying this is that case. This is one of those cases. I'm saying your SSRIs, yes, they can make you crazy, but also they can help you. But if you stop taking them, you go back to crazy.
Yeah, but the biggest problem we've been finding, they don't talk about it, is that they're over prescribing these kids.
Yes,
they're giving them adult prescriptions for like 14, 15, 16-year-olds. So they get all this medication plowed into them. And meanwhile, the news used to talk about this back in the 90s. But what happened in 98? All of a sudden, they can advertise.
Yes.
I advertise this. Big Pharma advertises now on just about every news channel and every.
Well, not just advertise. They are usually the largest advertiser in. It's
70% of the revenue for mainstream media. So
especially
now
24-hour news.
Yeah,
the Foxes and the CNNs.
Yeah, and they can't say anything. If they say something, they're going to pull back their advertising. So when we made this legal, it made the mainstream media worse. It made them liars, basically, because now they leave out the details of things that, and what happens in 99 is Columbine happens, and nobody mentions that those kids were on, I believe those kids were on Ritalin.
At least one or two of them, at least one of them was, if not both.
Yeah, so no, it's the gun's fault. And I have a number of guns. I lost them in a boating accident, so I don't have them anymore. But I did have a number of them, and they never left my house and caused me a shooting. So
I'll bring this up now because it's you just brought it up, the gun, blaming the gun. It reminded me of an article from our favorite news organization. I put that in quotes because it's the Babylon Bee, but the new Clue board game for liberals just has you blame the murder weapon. That's the headline. U.S. Hasbro Gaming announced that it was expanding its board game library with a brand new version of Clue where you blame the murder weapon and never solve any crimes. Clue Liberal Edition was being called the most interesting update in years for the popular game. Here's a quote. "I'm terrible at Clue. I always lose," noted a board game enthusiast, Justin Coates. "But in Clue Liberal Edition, everybody loses. I'm so there."
Is that Babylon Bee?
This is Babylon Bee. Yeah, I said that really quick at the beginning just to get it through. So in Clue Liberal Edition, 3 to 6 players must solve the murderous murder of Mr. Bobby, a cisgender white health insurance CEO, and compete to be the first one to blame the murder weapon. Where was Mr. Bobby murdered? With what weapon? Was it justified? These are the answers. These are the answers that must be. These are the answers that must be answered. I think these are the questions that must be answered before the liberal can safely close the case and save the world. Mr. Bobby was killed with a gun. We need common sense gun laws. A happy looking non-binary person said in an exciting new TV spot advertising the product. Other players disagree, suggesting that banning lead pipes and candlesticks was the answer. New creative arguments for family. That was great. I had to put that in there.
I want to do a quick PSA here regarding Second Amendment. There's a new RNC chairman, and anybody that cares about the Second Amendment needs to pay attention. There's a new chairman. Joe Grutters is the new RNC chairman, and he is not a Second Amendment supporter. He's from Florida, and he's had, he kind of brought a lot of laws into Florida that are not pro 2A.
So, of course, we put him as the head of the GOP. That makes sense.
Yeah, well, head of the RNC chairman. RNC. Yeah, he's not I think Laura Trump is actually the head of the RNC, but he's a chairman. So for your midterms, if there's a primary going on, which I think happens in May here in Ohio, keep an eye out on who's running, because I'm going to say this Grutters guy is probably going to be more in support. He's, we should say this. They dole out the money to the candidates. So,
right.
So keep an eye out on who's running, and they're 2A stance because I have a feeling he's going to be giving more money to the ones that probably say they're pro 2A, that they support the Second Amendment, but probably
what'd they say 5 years ago?
Yeah. Look back on how they feel about red flag laws.
Yep,
that's a big one. And
that's a wishy-washy Republican always falters on the red flag laws.
Yeah, the red flag laws, and there's a couple of others. I didn't take notes. This was just something I grabbed last second here, and just keep an eye out on who's running in the primary in Ohio.
We should really get on the ball and have a Second Amendment segment.
Yeah, we should. We should, because there's a lot of good things that have been happening lately.
That too.
We should.
But just to wrap up, in case anyone wanted to know, the Clue Liberal Edition, it's on sale in retail stores for $29.99 plus a $19.99 tariff fee. Just that was the last line in the article. I put that in there.
I'm sorry, I railroaded.
No, that's fine. That's perfect. That's awesome. I was, as you were talking, I was like, ooh, I got to at least let them know how much it is. Jeez,
that's good.
So, what does our illustrious? What did the Gov have to say? What did the Gov have to say? What's Ohio? What's the state and local done to increase safety in our schools? Well, let's hear this report from ABC News Channel 5. Not Morgan. Sorry, everybody. Not Morgan. Let's see what they had to say.
Voting rights advocates are suing the state, saying a new...
Look at me doing the wrong clip. Help if I put it in the right order. Here you go.
Well, devastatingly, when things happen like it just did in Minnesota, it puts everybody, parents and students, on edge. Now, for years, schools have been working to increase safety, doing things like numbering the outside of classroom windows for first responders and making it not as easy for anyone who wants to just get into these schools. But the state of Ohio is continuing to work towards increased safety.
It's all in the preparation. It's being ready, and it's also doing things that may deter someone from coming in and doing this. So there's no guarantee that tragedy will not strike, but we have an obligation to minimize the odds that will happen.
DeWine says the reality is schools are very safe, and they are actively working to minimize any safety risks.
Sounds like it.
DeWine also points out that just like fire drills, the staff and the students need to know what the process is in case the worst happens.
You have to drill these things. You have to practice.
This is actually good.
We hate doing that with our kids. The kids knowing what to do in case something happens, and the teachers knowing what to do is vitally important.
Now, this year in Ohio, there's 97 school districts that allow armed staff. That's up by more than 20 districts from just last year.
Yeah, buddy.
I asked Governor DeWine if more districts should choose to do that. He said it's up to individual communities to decide if that's right for them. Yeah. But again, it all comes back to proper training and proper protocols to be in place so that everybody knows what to do in case of an emergency. For now in Ashtabula, Catherine Huntley, 19 News.
So they've been working years, and what they've come up with is numbering the outside of the classrooms. Yeah, they should already be numbered for the fire department.
Yeah.
On the outside, they should have been done that like decades ago, and making it not as easy to get into the. Okay. How about take off the no gun sign off the schools?
Yeah, I think there's something coming through. It might just be in. They're researching it right now, but they want to get rid of school gun-free zones.
But you heard that little at the end there. 20 more school districts in Ohio in the last year or two have allowed their teachers to conceal carry, which I am all for.
Yeah, there's 97 school districts right now, but I think there's, I think we have over 600 districts in Ohio.
Oh yeah, 600 or 700 districts. Yeah. It's not even. It's barely 10%.
Yeah. We're going in the right direction, but it needs to.
I'm all for it. I think in that situation, there needs to be a little bit of oversight, though, as far as how much training do you have with your firearm and how often you go training. I think there should be some requirements since you're around kids. Because,
of course.
Because people say, I'm for teachers carrying guns all the time. People, oh my gosh. But no, you have to have training to do this. The worst thing I want is some teacher that doesn't know what to do with a gun to try to pull it out in an event and make it worse, right?
Well, you're right. You're absolutely correct. But the nice thing about having or allowing staff to carry in a school zone is if somebody's coming in to shoot up the building, they have no clue who has the gun, if anybody even. So it's a deterrent just from allowing it.
And I believe I think it was a school shooting from quite a few years ago in California. That's the one I was thinking of when I was talking about the Pulse nightclub. I'm pretty sure at one of these, he had his original target had an armed security guard, and he went on to the school down the street that didn't have one. And shot up it was a Jewish school in California, I believe.
Yep.
So just that alone. I get it. Everybody thinks, oh, no, not more guns. But who stopped this guy? What stopped this guy? He killed himself, right?
Oh, yeah, he shot himself. Right. This trans woman was go check out the manifesto, because this person was not in a good place. He said he was sick of being trans, and he is sorry that he brainwashed himself into it, which I don't think he brainwashed himself. I think society brainwashed him, and his mother, who signed off on all this. Notice that we never talked to the parents of these shooters either.
Did I hear something that she fled? She's
she's lawyered up.
Yeah, they raided her home, and I thought I heard she lawyered up, or she left, or did something.
She lawyered up.
Okay.
Which is normal, but this guy had a shotgun with him, a pistol, and a rifle, and I would love to know how he afforded all that too. He wasn't hiding it, so unless he had a room that was under lock and key where his parents couldn't get it, I don't know if there's a dad involved, but I don't know how he was hiding any of this from his parents. He was 23. I think he still lived at home.
There was a post I commented on because somebody had done the math with the stats and said that it was only 0.21% of I think he posted 0.217% of school shootings were from trans people. So first of all, his math was wrong. It's 2.17%.
Yeah, but it's through history though. I think it's...
Well, he went back a couple of, I don't know how long he went back. That's regardless of it. He's saying, well, it's the trans people aren't that big of a deal. My comment was, yes, 100% of them were mentally ill, but 2.17% of them were a little more mentally ill than the others. How's that? Because by definition, he was mentally ill.
Yeah, definitely mentally ill. But
I mean, when I see by definition, 5 years ago definition, because they've changed it. Because now it was a mental disorder, but now it's not.
Yeah, right. Well, there's that. And it's the escalation of it. That's what I see. I understand it's only 2%, but what about the last year?
Yeah, last year it could be half of them.
Yeah,
the legit ones. The legit.
Yeah, the real, the ones that went in and shot up.
And people. we can make a call out to one of our favorite shows, the No Agenda Show, who's been bringing up. John's been talking about this for a year or more. Just wait for these kids to realize what they did to themselves and start blaming the people that did this to them. Now, this guy doesn't necessarily do that, but it's not far off.
Well, he blamed himself.
Right. Oh, but, yes. Okay.
He felt sorry that he was sick of being trans, and that he feels sorry he brainwashed himself. And it's like, no, you didn't brainwash yourself. Somebody groomed him into it, whether it's his mom or some online.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you all of a sudden go, oh, I'm a girl. I mean, and they changed his name a lot, like when he was in his, I think, I forget. Early teens, yeah.
Yeah. In the article, they're like, it's unclear what his gender was, but his mom had his name changed, and the pictures of him in with ponytails as a woman. I'm like, I think it's pretty clear what his gender, what he thought his gender was.
Yeah. No, it's terrible. And I showed a clips what the Minneapolis mayor was saying and stuff like that. It's pretty.
That's I didn't know that fact that you told me about, because there's so much crap out there. I do look at what's going on with these things, but I try not to get too deep in them because it's so dark sometimes. But on these shootings and it's just the rhetoric and everything is just so toxic a lot of times. So I didn't dig that deep in his manifesto. But that really is troubling because why is he blaming himself? It's like,
yeah, well,
it's troubling that he, people may find that my take on this is maybe a little coarse, which it probably is.
It has to be,
but they need help. These people need help. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Make asylums great again. That's a joke. That's a tongue in cheek, but there's some seriousness to it. These people need our help. And all they're getting is reinforcement of the crazy.
They don't need affirmation.
No, they need help. Yes. Yep. Get them the help they need as soon as they need it. They may find that 10 years or 5 years, whatever they go through, that maybe they still feel this way. But as far as I can see, majority of the people who get the help they need, they end up just being normal or gay.
Yeah, they just end up. I think I'm saying usually because I think,
excuse me, not normal and gay. Sorry.
That is normal.
Well, yes, we can have that.
That's normal. I'm sorry.
Yes. It is normal, and being gay is abnormal. It is not the norm.
It's a deviation. Yeah,
it is not the norm. So, not to demonize them, but but that's what usually happens when in the years past, very few continued on as they got older into transition. Very few.
Right.
Now we go right to pills.
Right to pills and castration.
And to be honest with you, from my worldview, you're just neutering all the people that would vote your way. So, hey, keep on, keep aborting and neutering yourselves. Geez, people, get some help. I really do.
Yeah.
I really think they need help.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sad.
Anyway, get away from killing people and all that kind of stuff. Let's talk about government corruption.
Oh, okay. That's normal.
Yeah, that's just normal every day. Oh, we got to check the box. Check the click. Okay, we're good on that one.
Okay, so I saved this story. I didn't do a deep dive into it. I'm kind of
well, we talked about this a little bit.
We talked about this this was in a past show. It is a report by the Marshall Project back then, and it was they were investigating Judge Leslie Ann Celebrezze, and they found her. What she was doing is I think she was dating a lawyer.
Yep.
And his name was Mark Dator or Dator. I'm not sure how that's pronounced, but she was dating, as far as we can tell, assuming that she was dating him, and she was sending him work. So she got busted on that, and I forget exactly how it worked, like how she was sending him the work, but it was it was kind of she was doing him a big favor by sending him work. I think it was over $600,000 worth of work.
Yeah, over 5-6 years. So he was getting $100,000 a year from her. It sounded like 95, something like
basically,
that. So, says that's why I pulled out because I was looking for that. I'm like, I can't remember what the work she was sending. So this says in some complex divorce cases, judges appoint receivers to act as a neutral party to control a couple's marital assets,
right,
including real estate, cash, equipment, deposits, accounts, and businesses. The receivers are paid by the divorcing couples. So she was, as she got these cases, she was sending them to I think her quote unquote boyfriend. I think she's married. Nobody's sure, but there's people saying, I think it's towards the end of the article, whether with two or actually. So, for example, records show she consulted with 2 lawyers about a divorce for her husband. And she also told other judges she was in love with Daughter.
Right.
And phone records showed the duo spent over 300 hours on the phone in 1 year. I don't know if that's a lot or not, but it seems like a lot. It's almost an hour a day.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Yes, it is a lot.
Well, anyways.
But in effect, the appearance of the relationship, the two parties, and the public, and then the public undermines the confidence in the decision that the judge is making. So regardless if they were dating or not, just the idea that she could be dating him was bad enough. So she was sending him, work.
Right.
And how did they find this out? I found this pretty interesting. So they found this out. Nobody would have seen this, that no one else was going on. But the board said Celebrezze and daughter's relationship would have likely gone undetected had a Strongsville businessman, Jason Jardine, not hired a private investigator to follow the judge. So a private businessman hired a private detective to follow the judge around. That's how they found this out.
That's crazy.
So the article is really about the recommendations from a couple of organizations. The House Supreme Court's Office of Disciplinary Counsel, which handles civil complaints against attorneys and judges, requested a 1-year suspension, which would have reduced to 6 months with good behavior. The recommendation was then sent to the Conduct Board. In response, the board members wrote that they found the council's recommendation penalty not significant enough, given the extent and nature of the misconduct.
Wow.
So they're recommending 2 years suspension with 1 year taken off with good behavior.
Yeah, I think they're going to try to make an example of her.
Yeah, which they should, because this is what everybody hates about government. It's what Cuyahoga County was doing for years. This kind of stuff.
Yep.
Doing favors and sending work to contractors who did favors for county councilmen and stuff like that. It's very similar to that. So that's what's going on with Celebrezze. It looks like she's definitely going to get. She also approved nearly 500. Oh yeah, that's what we're saying. She approved $500,000 in fees for Doddard Cost LLC between January 2017 and June of 2023. It's only 6 years.
Oh wow,
that's a lot. That's some cash. That's basically more than $100,000 a year. So,
yep.
Well, a little less, 95. I'm sorry. I can do math, people. I really can. All right. So where do we go to next, Tom? I think we're done with Celebrezze. Yeah, I think we're done with her. But she's just getting started. What's she going to do for a couple of years? I'm sure she's going to be out on the streets. Or she can ask her boyfriend for some cash.
Yeah, well, I think she's an elected judge, right?
Oh, so somebody's got to appoint something to replace her.
Yeah, her term. Hang on, I thought I saw it. 2027 was the. Yeah, a ruling is likely months away. Celebrezze's term expires in January 27.
Oh, so she got another a good year left.
Yeah, so she might have to. She'll be ousted, suspended, past her expiration.
She'll have to run again, which is going to be hard to do if you already got corruption charges.
Yeah, well, we'll see where the money is.
Yeah,
because I bet you nobody ran against her. I mean, she might not be able to run.
Yeah,
and she might have to wait another however that works for judges. She might have to wait another term.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know how many years it is.
Question. It's actually a pretty good.
With the name like Celebrezze, I wouldn't be surprised to see her back there.
Yes. Oh, nepotisms. All right, well, I'll check that box. Did I already? Yep, checked it. So our next story was, I saw this come across, and I thought, what? And the only thing that came to mind was this right here. So I figure I'd pull a clip from one of my favorite movies, which I haven't seen in so long. But when I saw this story come across, it's about, it's about the Downtown Safety Patrol again. And I thought, well, wait a minute.
Do you ever have deja vu, Mrs. Lancaster?
I don't think so, but I could check with the kitchen.
No, that's okay. Thank you.
That's from Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
One of the openings or the scenes when first day comes. I couldn't help it. I'm like, there's some scene in there I know that sounds like this. So yeah, deja vu all over again, as they say. So what's the story? Well, the Downtown Safety Patrol strikes again, and this time another person is dead. So this is a second incident in the last 5 months that an innocent bystander has been killed in a crash following a police chase from the Downtown Safety Patrol, which is, if everybody doesn't remember from last week, It is actually the Cuyahoga County Sheriff's Department who created this downtown safety patrol, again, to help with the crime in Cleveland, because it's so good, they say, as we said earlier in the show, but so good that they had to get help from the Cuyahoga County Sheriffs. There's a big issue. It's costing a couple $1 million a year. And now part of the problem is this is the second one in 5 months by the same person driving.
This wasn't the same guy that was pointing his rifle out the window?
It's not Vajussi.
Yeah, okay, Vajussi.
No, I would. I mean, give you some credit. I at least said that name a couple times by now because it's so good. No, it is. Well, you know what? I have the clip. I was trying to save the clip, but I just play it because this is why I have clips, people, because it's way better to get it from them than from me. So here we go. Here's ABC News 5 as usual. The Downtown Safety Patrol Dajavu is what I labeled it. So here we go.
News 5 investigator Tara Morgan here with us now. She's reported on Deputy Chase's extensively with what she's uncovered tonight.
And this is the second chase where Deputy Casey Loudermilk gave chase and an innocent bystander was killed. A warning, the video is tough to watch, but we think it is important to show you exactly what happened. Records show the chase lasted just under 2 minutes with speeds at one point about 100 miles per hour.
Watch closely this Cleveland surveillance video. You can see cars pulling up to a red light at Superior and Addison. In just seconds, the suspect car plows into one car, pushing it into a field. A different angle from Addison shows a cruiser sideswiping the wreckage. Sharday Elder, a mother of two, died.
All right, so nobody can see the video, obviously. But one of the interesting things I saw by watching this video a couple times is, one, there's one angle. There's 3 cars coming to the intersection, and they stop. I think it's a red light, or it was a red light, but so they stop. And then this dude's car flies through the intersection, hits a car, and then the cruiser comes through and hits, this mother's car spins out of the way, and then the sheriff's department car hits that car. But it appears to me that she stopped in the middle of the intersection. Like she heard the police sirens and just stopped, because they were at the light, and then the cross street is Addison, I think, and they were, or maybe it was vice versa, but they were on the cross street. So I looked like, how did she get hit? For some reason, she stopped in the middle of the intersection. Not saying anything that it's her fault. I'm just saying it's odd that. And then the second angle that they talk about isn't even a second angle, because it's a camera looking at another camera that blocks almost the entire shot.
What?
Of the intersection. Yes. So I'm like, hey, how about you get the shot from that camera that's in front of this camera? Like, what the heck is this? So you really couldn't see a clear view of what actually, there's the first shot that you see the 3 cars, it's in the distance. I mean, the camera's on the block before, so it's a whole block away, the traffic light. But it really appears that she had stopped partially in the intersection for some reason. And he's doing 60, 70 miles an hour when he hits her. He had to have been. I mean, that's zooming. I mean, he's doing 50, 60 easily. So, but same guy, 5 months. And we talked about the other one of our first shows on Eddy Road over on 90.
Yeah.
Came across, hit the woman. The car he was chasing hit a woman, pushed her car over the exit ramp into a field next to it. And they both died. We'll continue on so you get a little bit more out of this.
Deputy Christopher Monda was hurt, but is out of the hospital. New records reveal how badly passengers in the 2 cars were hurt. A 16-year-old girl in the suspect's car has a spinal injury. Elder's passenger has a double broken pelvis. This is the second chase in 5 months where a driver who had nothing to do with it was killed. In March, a woman died when her SUV was hit during a chase and flew over a traffic bridge in a fiery explosion. Deputy Loudermilk started that chase downtown as well. County Council member Sonny Simon has been working on changes to the sheriff's pursuit policy.
We knew as council that this could be problematic. This moving forward.
Oh, did you?
We needed to make sure there were safeguards to put cost-benefit analysis in place, that we would keep the community safe, but at the same time not harm innocent people.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Obviously, this is something that's occurred too many times.
Simon says she doesn't think the county should be chasing. She's proposing chases only for felony and violent offenses and not misdemeanors like reckless driving. Her legislation is still pending to halt funding for the Downtown Safety Patrol until policy changes are in place.
Why?
It's unspeakable.
Why is it still pending? So in contrast to our first half of the show, more police isn't always the answer, because if you don't have the right police involved or the right leadership or the right rules in place, it's not always a good thing. And in this case, this is what I think we have. We have a Downtown Safety Patrol that is outside of the jurisdiction of the Cleveland Police Department, and they have their own rules and chases, which are significantly different than the Cleveland Police Department. The Police Department needs approval to go on a chase, and it has to be, I believe, for felonies. It can't be just for, tinted windows. I want to say that first one was for something silly like that. I don't remember though. So, more of the Downtown Safety Patrol.
They should, at this point, they should disband it.
But Miss Simon says, it says later in the clip, but Miss Simon says had some good talks with the sheriff.
Oh, good talks.
Yeah, good talks. It's kind of like the Mayor Bibb going on a safety walk. That's really
safety walk.
Really help. Yeah. Look how safe I am. I have all my security around me. I'm walking through downtown Cleveland. Look how safe I am. So I again, oof. It's a hard. And then the guy's pleading not guilty.
Loudermilk?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it looks like I'm looking at another article you have here.
Well, I meant the guy was being chased.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
but
as he should, as you would think he would. Oh yes, and then that. Sorry, I'm getting to the next one. I was getting to that point, but now they're looking into this. This
Loudermilk.
Marshal. No, he's a deputy.
Yeah,
sheriff's deputy. Loudermilk, which is wow, that's a pretty cool name.
It reminds me of Police Academy Tackleberry.
Yes, is that made
Loudermilk?
Up? Sure. Is that your real name?
Casey Loudermilk. That sounds made up, but okay.
So he's being accused of lying during the background check and keeping details off his application according to his personal file. What details? I don't even know. Does it say the details?
Doesn't really say.
That's what I thought. I remember going over this, and I don't know if it.
They probably can't say because it's still
might not
investigating it.
Yeah, I think you're right. Someone deliberately lies on the application process. We should not be hiring them. Well, duh. Yeah, thank you. He also told examiners that Highland Heights Police Office officials disqualified him because he failed a physical agility test. Loudermilk listed on a polygraph questionnaire during the Sheriff's Department's hiring process that the Ohio State Patrol rejected him because he failed a polygraph exam. He said later he took a second exam and passed, according to a sheriff's polygraph report. He did not divulge on his or disclose the details on his application because he did not have enough space available. That's what he said. Oh, how about flip the page over? Good Lord. Well, the Vigiusi, this is the pattern we're seeing here. This Vigiusi guy was bumped out. I mean, he was thrown off the Menor Police Department. He was on the Cleveland Police Department for like 8 months, and then he got pulled over to the. No, he was on the. I have to go back and check, but I think the Sheriff's Department was his third stint. The Menor Police Force kept him on for a few months or less than a year, and they said, "Yeah, no, he couldn't handle the situation. He got too worked up and didn't make good decisions under pressure." That was Vigiusi.
These are like double A'ers coming up. It's not even the bench. It's not the minor leagues. These are
third string quarterback coming up.
Well, yeah, not even that.
It's the third string kicker coming on.
Yeah, maybe. This is bad. Yeah.
So again, we're talking about earlier about taking care of crime and a better better police presence, but it's not always just more numbers. You need to have the right leadership and the right strategy, because then you get yahoos like this. just use the word yahoos? I did. You got people like this who don't belong in a police force, but because I would imagine pickings are pretty slim for people who want to be cops. Back to defunding the police.
Yep.
Low morale, all the stuff we talked about earlier. It's all hitting in more places than we realize, I think. So I will just keep up. I mean, because I feel like in a couple more weeks, there'll be another story about the safety patrol. I just kind of get sick of talking about them, to be honest with you. But like I said, if you think we got it wrong, think we got it right, please let us know. Go tell your friends, subscribe to the show, send us an email, not necessarily in that order, but whatever order you'd like. Go to our website, crookedrivercast.com. Send us an email at crookedrivercast@gmail.com. And please subscribe and share with your friends. You know anybody who wants a little more on what's going on around them in the state of Ohio, Northeast Ohio, share the show. Send it their way. Really appreciate you listening. Really do. Last couple we got here, Tom. Last couple. Voting registration at the BMV. Racist?
Yeah, everything's racist.
Everything's racist. So there's a new law that passed I believe in the last budget that allows you to register to vote at the Bureau of Motor Vehicles in Ohio. But in the law, they state you need to prove that you're a legal citizen with a passport or birth certificate. Well, naturally it's racist. Let's hear from there's a council person. They'll say who it is. A Democrat from Columbus. This is News Channel 5. As always, voter registration at the BMV. See what they had to say.
New law hurts Ohioans registering to vote. Now, the law that went into effect this summer requires proof of citizenship in order to register at the BMV.
Columbus Bureau reporter Morgan Trow breaks down the case and why each side is fighting back.
Morgan!
As you know, Morgan, your voice is your vote, and it's the opportunity to voice your concerns.
Which is why State Rep Latina Humphrey is supporting litigation against a new Ohio law, one that requires proof of citizenship in order to register to vote at the BMV.
Intentional to target urban communities, intentional to target those who may have disabilities.
Voting rights advocates are suing Secretary of State Frank LaRose. Nonpartisan elections law expert Atiba Ellis explains that the lawsuit alleges the state is violating the National Voter Registration Act.
The goal of the NVRA was to make sure that states would not only affirmatively offer the ability to register, but it also was meant for states to not create overly burdensome burdens around registration.
He adds Ohio law already states only citizens can vote, and there could be issues since the new law requires proof of citizenship at just the BMV, but not when you register online.
Requiring
Wait.
Overly burdensome.
Overly burdensome burden. I love this argument. Voter registration laws are racist because people of color, do they not know how to get a birth certificate?
I dare anybody to head over to Glenville, East Cleveland, and ask the residents there if they know where the DMV is.
If they know how to get a birth certificate. Can you afford a birth certificate? Hey, here's an idea. We'll just make them free. Solved. Or are you saying that Black people, people of color, Hispanics they just don't have the mental capacity to know how to get a birth certificate or a passport? Because that's what they always say. Well, you can't show your ID when you go to vote because that's racist. Because people of color can't get a license? Well, it costs money. Yeah, it costs like $20. Well, it takes time. Oh, okay. So keep going here. See what else. I just love how it hurts them. And that's why I stopped it. So the key there for me was why don't we require this everywhere you register to vote, not just the BMV? That's what he's about to say here. He's about to say The fact that you don't have to do it elsewhere, but you have to do it at the BMV is not right. Okay. Let's just hear what he has to say. He's right. And I have the solution.
But not when you register online.
Requiring different things in order to accomplish the same goal of voter registration might raise problems around equal protection.
LaRose champions the legislation, saying that it protects the safety of elections, despite a dozen of his own audits showing there is no evidence of widespread voter fraud. In a statement, he says, "I won't apologize for or back down from the work we do to ensure the integrity of our voter rolls." Lieutenant Governor Jim Tressel agrees.
We need to do anything we can to make sure that things are done properly.
Tressel says that he trusts LaRose in adding extra steps in place to make sure every Ohio vote counts. Just last year, the secretary announced indictments on 6 green card holders for allegedly voting before or in 2020. Local prosecutors said the cases had no merit, and one of the indicted was dead. But the Republicans say that every non-citizen voter needs to be held accountable.
I would certainly not be opposed to making sure that their citizens that do the proper registration to have that opportunity to vote.
Advocates say that this could place roadblocks for Ohioans who don't have access to technology or who may not be able to afford to pay for citizenship proof, like a copy of a birth certificate or passport.
This was intentional to stop certain people from voting.
A federal judge will decide whether or not to pause the law while the case is heard. At the Ohio State House, I'm Morgan Trout reporting.
Dead ones.
Yeah, it's like, one of them was dead. What do you got to worry about that guy for? Just let him vote. Like, how many other dead people are voting? Hello? So this is more of the same. I say solve the problem. Everywhere you register to vote, you should show proof of citizenship. Online, not online, to BMV. I don't care where you're registering. You should show proof of citizenship. Why have a law if you're not going to check? Oh, just in case later on after they vote, you can find them. Give me a break. Leaving room for Tom.
Yeah. I mean, there's not much to say.
Yeah, there's not much more to say to that. I just like, come on. This is all to do about nothing because,
the thing is, if you're anti this, you're basically just all you want to do is cheat. I don't understand what else it could be.
Yeah, there's nothing here that's going to prevent somebody. There's nothing here hurting anybody.
It's common sense. I hate to use that term, but
if this is a problem, if people with disabilities have a problem getting an ID or getting a birth certificate or passport or something like those, the solution is not to lower the standards of the voting. The solution is to help those people with whatever needs they have. Hey, how about a family member or your church or some other place or some local group that can help you get these things? But no, we won't do that. We'll just lower the standards, lower the bar.
Yeah, no, that's
don't raise people
silly.
Up, lower the bar. So they may stop this. There may be an injunction while the lawsuit goes through. We'll wait and see. But that's really the only update.
Okay.
And then since we're talking about voting, I just wanted to touch real quick. I talked about last week, as we talked about the, I think Trump's executive order on voting machines and paper ballots, that there was 2 counties in Ohio that are trying to go back to paper ballots. And those counties are Mahoning County and Seneca counties. They've appealed the court's decision because they lost, saying you can't go back to paper ballots. And from my understanding is because the state law says once you adopt digital voting machines or tabulators, you cannot go back. And they're challenging that. So they lost their first round of court and they're just appealing it right now.
It's silly law.
I don't think it'll be on the ballot. The questions whether it's going to appear on the November ballot or something like that. That's basically about it. I just wanted to, of course, they put Trump's post in there on Truth Social. So make sure there's nothing else there. Nah, that's pretty much it. But they're still fighting it. They want to go back to paper ballots and counting paper ballots. And we'll see what they do. But that's a dumb law. I get the I don't get why you can't go back. I don't understand why once you go this way you can't. So yeah, launched. So this was launched. This is launched by residents in two counties, like we said, to ban voting machines. In doing so, the state's top elected officials ruled that the process they attempted was illegal under Ohio law. Yep. So there you go. Okay, that's that. On to our favorite segment of the show.
We bring good things to life.
And for today's good things segment, we have smooth jazz. No, I'm just kidding. We have the House of Blues. I was digging around for some good stuff. And one of the things I saw was, we were talking about Alice in Chains, and then Jerry Cantrell from Alice in Chains. So he did singing, but he was lead guitar. He is the lead guitarist of Alice in Chains. Did a lot of the writing for Alice in Chains. Kind of the main guy. He's the one who started the band. So he's coming, I believe, on the 6th. But really, what this brought up was the list of House of Blues has quite a few concerts coming up. Everybody should check out if you're interested in seeing some live music. One of them was UB40.
Really?
Do you remember UB40?
Yeah.
Red wine. There we go.
Yeah.
That was the one. Huh.
I'm trying to look through the calendar now.
Yeah.
Boy, they need to improve that calendar. Jesus.
Oh, put it in list view.
Yeah, that's awful.
Yeah. Jerry, I Want Blood Tour is the 5th, Friday, September 5th. He's coming. Let's see. A couple other ones. Electric Feels. I don't know who that is. Live local music featuring Nathan Hedges. Yeah, what restaurant bar? Is that a group? I don't think so. That's just like open mic or something.
Dark Angel Extinction Level Event, North America. I wonder if that's weird. I wonder if it's some kind of... that's a band. Interesting.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff here.
Here comes the Mummies.
What was the other one I had put up there? It was early in the week, so now I forgot. Oh, yeah, the Scene. 14 top concerts coming in September. That's where I think I saw the Jerry Cantrell. That's what started. Yeah, the St. Vincent was the one you saw. It was the first one for the 29th.
Yeah, that was a great show.
Let's see. Tate McRae.
Nine Inch Nails
on the 31st. That's today.
Oh, okay. That's right.
Yeah. So 9/2 is Dorothy Martin. I don't know. She sang, she was a kid. Where is she? Listening to, I don't know. Pink Floyd is, I don't know. It's just a singer, I guess. Yeah. Nine Inch Nails.
UB40, Hudson Westbrook. I don't know who this is.
Texas Headhunters on the 5th. If
you like blues, go see them. They're pretty good.
Beachland Ballroom.
Alison Krauss. That's kind of cool.
Oh yeah, and Union Station. They're coming into, what does it say? Because these aren't at the House of Blues. These are just all over the place. Oh, the Jacobs Pavilion.
Yeah.
And there's a whole bunch in there. So top 14. That's the other article we put in there for top 14 shows in September. Except they cheated and they put St. Vincent in there. And
Alabama Shakes are kind of cool too, man.
Yeah,
I didn't even know they were coming. Okay. Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, so we'll put that in the show notes, links in the blog, and also you got to go to the website, check those out, get your links and pictures, and a show wrap up little blog about what we talked about today in the show notes. The next, or in the blog post. Next, real quick, Paul Revere's Corn Maze. This one that you brought to the table.
Yeah, let me see this.
Starts September 2nd, Sunday, September 2nd.
Yeah, it goes through
Tuesday through. Get out of here, ad.
No kidding.
Yeah. Okay. I guess I can't see the article.
I think it runs the whole month. What is it? The first Tuesday through Sunday, starting September 2nd. It's a maze. They call it the Paul Revere. It's a Paul Revere themed corn maze. So it's 250 years since he made his ride, and it's just something to do.
Shame on you, News Herald. Shame on you. I was going to give you props because I haven't heard from News Herald in a while, but you're about as bad as Cleveland Magazine or the Plain Dealer. I can't get to anything on your bet. I did read a little bit about this, and the one thing I pulled from this was what they're worried about is the lack of rain, and a lot of the stalks are not tall enough to make a maze.
Oh, no kidding.
Even if you look at the picture, yeah.
Yeah, we didn't even mention where it is. It's Lake Metropark Farm Park.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Lake Metropark Farm Park, and they're going to have something there. It's just Paul Revere themed. They're just going to use a lot of founding fathers kind of stuff throughout the whole thing. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Check it out. Do something good with the kids. Get them out. Get them off the screens. Get them in a cornfield.
It's a 250 years from his ride.
Right. Yes.
And it's next year is going to be the 250, or U.S.
250th birthday. Yeah, next year will be big 4th of July. Big one.
Oh, yeah.
Huge. Enormous.
UFC at the White House.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Oh,
yeah,
awesome. They just signed a new deal too for Paramount or somebody that I forget. They're gonna.
They signed a big deal, but I mean, the big deal was that Trump wanted the UFC event there during the festivities.
Yeah, because there's going to be a huge push in the next coming year for coming out of the White House for America and kind of, I think, how do I put it? Showing what American can still do, showing the good stuff of America. I'm trying to think of
American pride.
Pride, yeah. Focusing on the things we do. He wants to have a huge celebration all year. Different events
awesome.
all around the country. It's gonna be cool. America, baby.
America.
250 years. 250 years. The question we have to ask at our 250th birthday: is the experiment dead?
Not even close.
It's good. Be a good show one day just to go over that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Take my black pill and then we'll have a debate.
Yeah.
Last is you can still got one more weekend as of the publishing of this show for the 20th annual Cleveland Oktoberfest at the Cuyahoga County Fairgrounds.
Oh, cool.
It as we'll drop this on the 1st, which it'll be on Labor Day. And then the 5th and 6th are the last 2 days for the Cleveland October. So you want Lederhosen, beer, and schnitzel? Now you know where to go. Because, I mean, who doesn't want that right about now? And that wraps up our show. It's a long one. It was a marathon one. It's pretty good, though. And thanks for everybody for listening. We really do appreciate it. Please subscribe, share the show, tell your friends. Tell anybody who you think would be interested, somebody who maybe isn't in the know, but should be in the know. Send them a link.
The other thing is, I think it really helps out if people go to Apple Podcasts and leave a review.
Yes, thank you. That's a good point.
Only
5-star reviews. I'm just like like when I rent cars, they always go through the same spiel. You may get a survey, a short survey, and we really appreciate it if it's only 5 stars.
They actually have to tell you that.
Well, they do. They don't say it maybe to that extent, but they do mention that. Yeah, really, and they're really, and they get back. How was everything? Well, the car is like, well, you know what? The survey is really about our service and not the car. But I have a former coworker of mine who worked at a car rental place. And he said, yeah, anything other than a 5-star, and it's actually considered bad.
Yeah, I think restaurants are like that. I mean, a lot of things are like that when it comes to reviews.
So they'd rather you just don't review if you're not going to give them a 5-star. So, but I always try to. They usually take care of you. I mean, it shows they're very attentive. But customer service is actually pretty good. But anyway, so yeah, it's leave a review. Only good reviews, right? No, just kidding. Leave a review, anything you want. Send us an email. Like you said, if we're missing something, there's something you want us to cover. If we got it wrong, got it right. Either which way, please.
If you have a bad review, email us and tell us why.
Yes. Don't. Yeah, and then we'll let you know if you can put it on the Apple. But please, we appreciate it. All the help and get the word out there, get people more informed. Because as we're talking about 250th anniversary, an informed public is the only way the republic survives. right now, I don't think we have a very informed public. So spread the word. We really appreciate listening so much. You have no idea. We have a blast doing it. We hope it comes through, and we'll talk to you next week.
Peace.